So, would you please join me in welcoming our next presenter? This is the Chief of Police Services for the #1 safest city in the state of California, the number 15 in the entire United States of America. Please give a warm welcome to the Chief of Police Services in Rancho Santa Margarita, Dwayne Chapel.
Heck of an intro, sir. Thank you very much. Great. All right. Is this on? All right. Good evening or good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Let's give another round of applause for the city, our volunteers, and everyone that put this event on. I've come from a different city. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. I can't tell you a time that we had preparedness meetings such as this. We are very, very fortunate to have a city such as this. So give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, Matthew. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dwayne Chapel. I am the current and new chief of Rancho Santa Margarita Police Services. Our goal today is going to be simple. That's to ensure that our residents of Rancho Santa Margarita, they feel informed, they are prepared, and they feel protected when the unexpected happens. So let's just be honest, right? Like emergencies can happen. They can be very, very overwhelming. But with the right plan and the partnership that we have in place, our community can face them with the utmost confidence. So before we dive in, here's what we're going to talk about. I'd like to set the stage of what we'll be covering today. Emergencies just don't wait for the perfect moment. They happen fast and they often happen without warning. So to talk about what we're going to do, we're going to talk about what we need to know, what to do, and how we help. This just isn't about our response, it's about readiness. And the more informed that you are, the safer we are as a community. So here are some of our roles and responsibilities. We form what's called a unified command with OCFA. So in a major emergency, we work closely with OCFA under what's called a unified command structure. That means we make joint decisions together about your safety evacuations and about safety measures based on real-time conditions. So some of the stuff that we'll be doing is alert warning and announcements, traffic control, evacuation, security and protection of the evacuated areas, and the safety of all of our citizens. So our partnership with OCFA ensures that both fire and law enforcement resources are aligned with a singular mission, and that's protecting the lives and the property in our community. So some of the stuff that we will be discussing and the things that we do in these critical incidents are, we'll do an estimation of the people to be evacuated, the time available for the evacuations, the distance of travel to reach safety, some evacuation routes, the vulnerability of the evacuation routes due to hazards and threats, and the availability of resources to support the evacuation. We'll also keep in constant communication to prioritize the community safety. So here's a breakdown of our unified command approach to an emergency response. The Orange County Sheriff's Department, along with OCFA, work together under a unified command structure to make coordinated decisions during an emergency. Together, we determine a few things: when to evacuate, which routes are the safest, and how to best to protect the property and the people involved. This collaboration ensures our response is fast, that people are well informed, and that there's a focus on keeping the community safe at every stage of the incident. So there's a few methods of how we alert the public. I'll just go into a couple of them, or maybe 3 or 4, but as mentioned earlier, we do have Alert OC in the back. I'll talk about that briefly, but there's some other methods that people may or may not know about. And so I'll begin with the first one. So alerting the public is one of our top priorities during an emergency. We focus on delivering information clearly, timely, and we also want to make sure that everyone knows who's affected, why the action's needed, and what to expect, as well as where to go. This includes impacted areas, consequences, estimated timelines, evacuation routes, and transportation assistance if it's available. Our goal is to provide enough information so that the residents can make an informed decision and they can feel safe. We use systems like iPause, which is a federal system, and it sends alerts to your cell phones, TVs, and the radio. These alerts cut through what I call like everyday noise, so your normal programming, and they deliver critical information. This messaging is done through our emergency management team or Control One with the Sheriff's Department. As I mentioned previously, Alert OC is here, and so locally we use Alert OC, and it allows us to push out messaging to either your phones, your emails, or even hearing impaired devices. Signing up is easy. We have information in the back. You can scan that QR code. You may not be able to see it here, but the website is also at the bottom. And so again, this is a mass notification system designed to keep the Orange County residents and businesses informed about emergencies. So if you were involved in the airport fire, you may or may not have heard some of our sheriff's vehicles driving through communities. So the sheriff's department will drive through with our patrol vehicles, and we use a PA system, almost like a bullhorn attached to our vehicles. And we will put on an alert called a high-low evacuation warning. And Laura, I don't know if you could play the next one. And so that alert's different than what you normally hear when you hear our patrol vehicles rushing to an emergency. The purpose of that is so that your ears can be tuned to something that's different. So during an evacuation, we will typically play that what we call a high-low warning. Also, what we'll do is we'll go door to door and knock on your doors, make sure that number one, you know that there's an evacuation, and make sure that you're getting out safely. But also, the sheriff's department has new technology, and so we can use our smart devices, and we have something called a field map. But we can use technology to document evacuations on our smart devices, like our iPhones. It's an application called a field map, and what it does is it shows a grid of an evacuation zone. And what we'll do is we'll knock on your door. We'll say, "Hey, there's a mandatory evacuation. You need to leave now." If you don't answer, we can just click on that address, and now we know there was no answer. Or if you open the door and say, "I'm not leaving," we can also check the box that says refuse. Or if you need additional assistance to get out of your residence, we can also check a box. That way, when we go back to our command post or relay that information to our partners, we know that there's a residence that, number one, either refused, didn't answer, or may need additional assistance to get out. So technology has helped us along the way. Uh-oh. There we go. All right. Now, also, you may have heard Duke or our overhead support. What they'll do is they'll go around through the area, they'll get on their bullhorn or their loudspeaker as well, and they'll make announcements for evacuation. So we'll use air support units to make those announcements from above, helping to reach a broader area or a wider area so that people that are outside their homes should be able to hear the announcements as well. Okay, so some terminology. You may or may not have heard this in the past, but we'll talk about two things: soft road closures and hard road closures. So, understanding the evacuation terms usually helps everyone stay calm and take the right action. So, whether it's a warning or a mandatory order, we'll explain what it means and how to respond. So, soft road closures, they're used during evacuation warnings typically, and these limit traffic to ensure roads are clear for emergency responders while allowing residents with ID to return back to their homes safely. Sometimes we'll mark a barricade with cones, often accompanied by signs like roads closed to through traffic, or residents only, or maybe staffed by one of your deputies or our deputies so that we can allow only residents to come into a soft road closure location. This is to limit public access, and it's usually only essential personnel and local residents will have access to get into the areas. On contrast, this is hard road closures. So hard road closures are more serious. They come with mandatory evacuation orders. No one's usually allowed back into a mandatory evacuated zone, and this is to ensure the safety and allow emergency operations to proceed without interference. So again, no public access, and the purpose is to clear the area so that if there's an active threat, only first responders will be allowed entry. Okay, now protecting your home. So one, the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we establish a perimeter and that there's road closures. So we talked about soft and hard road closures. We talked about officers checking IDs to make sure that only allowed people allowed to be in the area should be there. And this is done for a few reasons. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but there are bad people in the world, right? And uh, and this happens, and I can attest to this. When we evacuate areas, sometimes bad people, they watch the news and they want to prey on our weakness. Sometimes because people are outside of their homes, bad guys, as I like to call them, they like to sneak in and steal your stuff, right? So we're not only there for the safety of the people, we're also there for the safety of the property. And we've seen looters and burglars come in people's most critical moments, and a lot of times we arrest them. So just be mindful. We are there for not only the safety of the public, but also for your things, right? We don't want to evacuate you to keep your home vulnerable for the next guy to come in and take all of your belongings. So that's what we're there for. Okay, so again, we'll establish perimeters, we'll increase patrols in the evacuated areas for those bad people that want to take advantage of us. We'll maintain a physical presence or what I call a footprint. We'll use technology. So a lot of times we'll use our air support to make sure that we can identify areas that are vulnerable and people that are not supposed to be in a location. And we'll coordinate with other agencies too, because we are a big department. We are the sheriff's department, but in a mutual aid situation, we'll call upon our partners, our brothers and sisters in other agencies, just like in Los Angeles. They asked for sheriff's department assistance during the protests, and so we came and helped out. And so in instances where there's a large fire and we need additional support, we can reach out to not only our other local agencies, but we can reach out to other counties as well. Okay, so evacuation terms. So number one, let me just preface this again, it's highlighted and underlined. Uh, every emergency situation is different and it'll dictate how we respond. So number one, generally, we cannot forcibly remove you from your house. And I say that because I always get this question about, well, what if I don't want to leave? And you'll be surprised. Some people just don't want to leave. They feel like they can battle a fire on their own with whatever tools they have. We will not forcibly remove you from your house. Okay. It is a violation, but the sheriff's department will not pick you up and take you out. So, number one, know that, right? You can refuse, but for first responders, we may ask you to sign a refusal waiver, or we may use our devices and document refuse. The reason we do that is, let's just say the area gets overrun by the fire, we may have to document that someone didn't make it because we know that the house is gone and there was someone that refused to leave. And so we need to have that information. But just know refusing to leave an evacuated zone not only affects law enforcement, but it affects a lot of times the operation because we just don't want to leave you there, right? But now we have to risk other resources to come and get you out. So just keep that in mind. For whatever reason, some people may want to stay in their homes. It's always safer to evacuate if there was an order that was given. Okay, so there's an evacuation warning. This is a voluntary evacuation of specific areas. It extends the time frame of evacuation and expect soft road closures during a warning. In contrast, there's an evacuation order, and so that's a mandatory evacuation of specific areas. It's usually time sensitive, and with an evacuation order, expect those hard closures. So, some of the things to remember, and I believe Chief Maul kind of touched on some of this stuff, but being safe doesn't just rely on public safety. We rely on the residents as well. So some things to remember: make a plan with your family ahead of time. We've all been affected by the airport fire in one way or another, so we should have some plans in place if and when this happens again. Prep your emergency kits with water, food, and some other essential items. Know at least two routes out of your immediate area. If you have two routes out of your immediate area, before evacuating, close all your doors and your windows. Assist your neighbors, assist the elderly, or assist disabled neighbors if they need help. Carpool if you can to reduce some traffic and drive cautiously. Everyone should prepare ahead of time to make a plan, pack an emergency kit, know a couple of routes, because this is going to make a big difference, especially when time is short. Um, I used to live in Corona back in 2018. I was there for the Holy Fire. I was evacuated from my residence. There was a lot of things that I did right, but I learned from it as well. And I'm sure the insurance companies here, they can attest to some of the other things that I may just touch on, but not to steal the insurance company's thunder, or maybe I'm not supposed to say this, but I was told if you know you may be evacuated soon, probably videotape your areas inside your house and verbally document some information in there. So that is going to be a written or video testament of the things of value inside your home, instead of calling the insurance company after your house has unfortunately been destroyed and saying, I've had all of these things here. Walking around your house and verbally saying, I have a 1995 Toyota Corolla, here's the license plate, I have a wedding ring, I have whatever those items are, document that information, because I'm sure the insurance company will love that. And I only say that because I used to work in an insurance company a long, long time ago. So maybe a helpful tip. All right, so our evacuation zones, I believe everyone here should know our evacuation zones, our evacuation maps. We have these listed on the city's website. You can visit cityofrsm.org/emergency, or you can scan a QR code that's available as well, and you can get these evacuation zone maps. This is important, especially if you ever hear a zone that's going to be evacuated. You know, oh, I live in zone 9. That's going to be me. So that's very, very helpful. You may or may not be able to scan this with your phone now, but again, it's on the website. That will take you directly to all of our zone maps for the city of Rancho Santa Margarita. Also, if you don't have a smart device with you right now, you can always remember to go to the website. You can click on those options: government, public safety, police services. You'll eventually get to the evacuation zone maps, and that's how you'll be able to maintain them. What I've done is I saved the bookmark on my smart device. That way I can always pull up the zones. It's easy to get to, especially when you need it. Okay, some other resources, I apologize. Some other resources, Radio C. So we offer some additional resources. Radio C gives some preparedness tips, some really good preparedness tips, even stuff that I didn't think of, and I've been in law enforcement for a while. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend everyone to go to that. Large Animal Response Team, I believe we have someone from LARC here. Is LARC here? LARC, anyone here? Okay. Sort of? Okay. If anyone doesn't, they do not. Thank you very much. Thank you for that bit of information. So, what city does LARC come out of now? They just San Juan. Yeah, okay. So, LARC is our large animal response team. So, if you do have large animals that need to be evacuated as well, we do have volunteers that can assist with that. Um, LARC also provides training on safety evacuations for those animals. It offers training with trailer loading, offers emergency shelters and fire behavior and safety as well for animals that'll be affected. Then, of course, we've already talked about the CERT team. So this is a free service that the city offers. It's amazing. It's a program offering that free training. I believe everyone should, at least if you have the opportunity to, look into CERT. It's some great, great training. I don't know if people understand the value of that program. So highly, highly recommend it. Okay, so thank you for being here and for being a part of a community that stands strong, even in the face of uncertainty, right? Because we never know when the next fire is going to hit or strike. None of us have forgotten the fear of the airport fire, the disruption that it's caused to the city. But let me tell you, our city's leadership, the fire department, the sheriff's department, all of our organized organizations will be there for you. next time, before, during, and after. Safety is more important than a duty to all of us here. It's personal. So please take action now. Sign up for alerts, know your evacuation zones, talk with your neighbors, share this information that you gathered here today, because when we prepare together, we protect each other. And I think that's what community is all about. So thank you again for your time, and I appreciate you being here.